All right, y'all, what's happening, everybody? Jay Washington here, back with the second episode of A Dad Apart. What this is, for those who may be new to the scenario, it is myself being a father of two who is away from his two children. And what I wanted to do was create a platform for fathers who are away from their children, whether it be willingly or unwillingly. You have a lot of fathers who are away, whether it be work, school, career choices, family. It's even, situations of dads who are neglectful, fathers who just don't want to be there. And so I wanted to use this platform to address all of those because there are a variety of stories. There is three sides to every story. There's one side, his side, basically her side, and the truth. And it isn't to paint anyone in a negative light, a negative aspect. It's just to open the dialogue for how people understand the other side of the coin. Many times we only hear of the mother's perspective, and I commend all of the single mothers who work hard, who do what they need to do on both ends. I am a product of a single mother. My father passed when I was 5 years old, so my mother did the best that she could to raise myself and my younger brother, and I never once questioned it. I understood that my father had passed. It hurt. It still does. But I saw a lot of people with fathers. I saw people whose fathers had left. And so growing up and dealing with that, and now being a father of my own, where I am in Los Angeles, my 14-year-old son is in Indianapolis, and my 4-year-old daughter is in Tacoma, Washington, it is very hard. Even when I was in Chicago, where I'm from, when my daughter and her mom and I were all together as a family in Chicago, my son was still away. So I didn't have one child with me at all times. And as a father, for me personally, it always hurts and it resonates. So that is the reason I am being open and being transparent with this. And like I said, I wanted to bring different people on. And for this one, I'm having the honor to talk to a homie I met back out here a couple of months ago. We were at the Comedy Store just talking, chopping it up, came to conversation about being two black geeks. Really, just being two black nerds. We talking about how we're both in the geek space, being people of color. And then conversations have evolved into talking about being fathers, and him knowing what I'm going through and telling me how much he understands and his situation on his own. And so I wanted to invite him to come talk about that, and told him he could be as open, as frank, and as candid as he wants to be. If he doesn't want to talk certain things, that is perfectly fine. But ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Mr. Jay Whittaker.
My man.
What's going on, broski?
Chilling.
So you're out here in LA for the No Hope Comedy Festival.
Yeah, this is
and this is home for you.
This is home, yeah.
And this is home for you, so
because I currently reside in Salt Lake City,
right,
Utah, which is a strange place. I always call it north of the wall, as you know, as a Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah,
because it's just different. It's like
a whole nother world.
It's either north of the wall or it's definitely Winterfell. It's definitely Winterfell, and it's got some parts where it's north of the wall, but. This is home. This is home. I was born in Glendale, raised in Inglewood, and raised in Orange County, California. And then I joined the Air Force about 15 years ago, and just never left.
Okay.
And I had a child from a previous marriage while I was there. I basically came back from a tour in Iraq. And see, like, the military, we're going to get right to it.
Go right in. Go right in, man.
Like, we're going to get right to it. Like, the military, and I'm still an active member, well, not active duty, but I'm a reservist in the Air Force now. I have very positive experience in the military. Some people may have different.
Right.
It's always been good to me. It keeps the lights on, allows me to being in the reserves allows me to kind of maintain some sort of income while trying to be a comedian.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because I quit my job, and now I kind of live off comedy, acting, and
the military.
Yeah, what I can do as a reservist. So it's provided a great life for me, but it also, when I was active duty, I'm young, I'm getting money, like I'm like, all right, I'm in my low 20s, and
let me kick it and enjoy life.
Yeah, like I'm like this is, I never had good money. I worked at Blockbuster, when it was closing down. So but I was never really getting good money, and I didn't have much debt. So naturally, after coming back from Iraq, I'm like, well, I've been shot at for a few months, so let's settle down.
Right.
And so the woman that I met, that is now my ex-wife and my the mother of my son Dante. We got married, we got divorced.
How quick was it?
It was like 2 years.
How long were you all? Was that the marriage or the whole time you guys were together?
The marriage on paper, but the whole time.
How long were you all together?
I would say 2.5 years total.
That's weird. That's kind of crazy because it's like you guys got together rather quick. Yeah. You just said, "This is what we're gonna do."
Yeah, but we were just feeling, we were vibing. And I still have mad love for my ex-wife. Mm-hmm. She's not my favorite person. I know I'm not hers, but I still love her and I still care about her.
Understandable.
And, but she's always been a great mother. I think we're just not great co-parents. I think that's the biggest problem when it comes to divorce is being. Anybody can be a good father. Anybody can be a good mother, but can you be great co-parents together? Right. And we've had that issue, but we've made it work. It's sometimes lately it's been more difficult than it's been easy. But when we divorced, because I thought I was secure. I'm getting money. The culture of Utah is everyone settles down a little bit early because of the it's not just the Mormon church, but it's just in general. A lot of people,
because that's what people hear is the Mormon church primarily when you hear Utah. Mm-hmm. You either hear that or the Utah Jazz,
right?
So it's one of the two.
But if you're like 24 and don't have a second kid, people will be like, "What's wrong with you?" And so, which is kind of, and I'm not. This
no. I'm not saying you disrespect, but it's just the culture of what that place is.
It's just the culture, and so you already have women in their mind that want to be settled down early, mm-hmm. and then you have what I thought was in the military life a very I had job security.
Right.
As an active duty service member, I did have job security.
Job security.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, well, shit, let's start a family. And we had our first son, and it was great. Things were going great, but then I blame a lot of myself. Ask any of my friends and family; they'll tell you I blame myself for a lot mm-hmm. of things. And I had a job that we deployed a lot, where I worked in a very high tempo type squadron. And
I've always wanted to ask this directly. How does that affect family life? Because we see the glitz and the glamour of it, in a sense.
Oh, of course.
We see the happiness when they come home and everybody's happy to see them. But, we'll hear about the occasional, here's the letter, here's the video call. But how did that stress the marriage?
It's just, it stresses because you don't know when. There's days where you get well, shit, we got to go. Mm. And, now, you've got maybe a month, but they'll give, it's not like, hey, it's too, I got to be on a plane to Iraq at 3 p.m. It's not anything like, I wasn't in any. There are situations like that. Mm-hmm. They're very rare, but it wasn't like that for me. But, there was other things going on. And as far as deployments and ops tempo, it just affected our marriage. And then we were both just too young. In all honesty, I think we had different aspirations. She wanted to be more stable and settle down more of the family life, which is fine. Mm. But me, I still wanted to. I was doing music. I was trying to get into stand-up comedy. I was always writing, and so I knew eventually at some point I wanted to go on the road.
So let's talk about the divorce, the separation, mm-hmm. and now being the father that's away apart from your child. How does that, let's ask first and foremost, how does that affect you?
It affects me in a dramatic, I can't tell you how hard it is because I'm in Salt Lake City. Mm-hmm. My son is in a city, in a suburb 20 minutes north of Salt Lake City. Yeah, I know. Your face right now. And so but the schedule is so difficult. I'm by law, I am allowed to see my son Tuesdays and Thursdays of every week and every other weekend. But I'm not going to say that she is a difficult person, but there have been difficult roadblocks. And basically, this schedule has been drawn up for my son that, no, he can't do it. You can't see him on Tuesday, Thursday. And now he's 10 years old. Okay. As we record this, he's 10 years old. He turns 11 in July. she lets him make the decisions, which I fucking hate. Excuse me, but it's just like.
Go ahead.
But I just don't like it because I feel like we're putting too much pressure on one child. He's 10.
He's 10.
I don't think he should be making his own decisions. And I've reached this point where I'm not trying to be the angry black father in a predominantly white state pulling up saying, "Give me my," I'm trying to let him choose.
Just for the understanding, your ex-wife is white.
Yes.
Okay. Because we hadn't made that clear at all throughout the conversation.
Yeah.
I just wanted people to understand that.
That is.
And I'm not using that as a racial aspect. I'm not using that. I just wanted to have everybody understand the full clear picture.
No, I didn't even think about that. I'm the sad. I won't say the sad thing, but it's not a good thing, a bad thing. It's a thing that there's a lot of interracial marriages out there.
Of course.
In Salt Lake City. So
I mean, it's expected for the culture for what it is. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Yeah. So you're 20 minutes away from your child. Again, this is not placing blame on anybody. This is merely to get your perspective. Yeah. Your opinions, your feelings, your thoughts on this. 20 minutes away, you're relegated to 2 days a week, the occasional 4-day week. Mm-hmm. How hard is that?
It's a mind fuck because for me, I got stationed in Utah, so it doesn't feel like home. It's starting to now because the more I come back to California, I realize I
ain't gotta be here.
I'm not sure if this is home now.
Yeah.
Because it's like I still have to remember my way around everything, but I know Salt Lake City and the back roads like so easy, and so, but I still my family's here. I just visited visited the house on my way to come record this. I went and visited my family's house out in Baldwin Hills, and I came home and they're like, "Hey, where you been?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" Raided the fridge, washed some clothes, took a shower. Like I put my feet. I was chilling. So,
right.
And so, and I want to be here to do stand up, but at the same time, it's I don't want my son to think that I'm not gonna be there, and but at the same time, he knows it's not. He actually told me, "Dad, you should go to LA more, so that you can try to, really make this pop as a comedian."
Do you believe, as a father, in your heart that your son completely understands that? Because a lot of times we give our kids credit. We say, "My child is super smart. My child is knowledgeable. They know these things." And it's not to discredit your kid, because I go through the same thing with my son. I'll tell you about it in a moment. But do you think they want more? They want you to go ahead and excel, or they'd rather have you just like, "Hey, go do this. I know you're trying to do this, but I really want you with me."
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I know my son well enough, and it's hard. Because as parents, you got to cross-examine your child on
yeah, but
sometimes you got to figure out where the source is coming from and what type of information they're taking in. But he's a very smart, very perceptive, and very sensitive child, but he's wise. He's so wise. Mm-hmm. Like he's got the mind of an 80-year-old sometimes, where he's just like, go do it. Of course he wants to spend time, but I think he's comfortable. I grew up in my parents, well, first off, for backstory, me and his mother split up when he was about 6 months old. So he was born basically.
He was born outside of the full household and full marriage, the family.
When we had him, when she had him, we were still married, but then 6 months, as he was 6 months
because he doesn't understand by then. No child does.
Yeah, of course. So, but my parents divorced when I was about 4.
Okay.
4 or 5, and so I know the feeling, and so I hated being bussed back and forth, and it is what it is, and I think that he's just at that age.
Okay.
So I don't take it as offensive as I used to, because I used to get really butthurt, like, why don't you want to pack up your shit, put it in the bag, come stay the night at my house, then let's play pretend, like
do all the stuff as a dad,
and then So I get visitation, maybe once or twice a month, and it's nowhere near as much as time as there's never enough.
There's never enough time.
Never enough.
There'll never be enough, no matter how much people say. Oh, well, you got 8 hours, you got a weekend.
Yeah,
that's never enough.
Like, and it for me, I was like, I would be fucking a mess about. Oh my God, I can't. I'm not doing a good job. But then I realized this kid gets it. He understands what he has a great mother who is very intelligent, got her degree, worked her ass off after we got divorced to get her degree, finish school, get a great job, and she hustles. I can't talk shit about her. I really can't. Like, there's times where I get fucking blind fury mad at her, but I just can't. But I can't talk shit about her. But at the same time, she has a mutual respect for me because I'm trying to do this, whatever it is that artists, comedians do.
Because I kind of have the same scenario with my son, with my son's mother, who's by my ex-wife. We split up when my son was 3. She moved to Indianapolis, which was cheaper, and she had family there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. After a while, it became really hard to try to see him. I'd have to find out from back sources that they were in town, in Chicago, and I was like, well, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't need to know, but you had my son.
Yeah.
And so it didn't make me, the anger for me personally was never there. It was just the hurt.
Right.
It was more so the hurt. And I think people need to understand that difference because they automatically assume that we're angry. Because you can have that emotion, that face, like you turn red, like you just, it's about to explode. But it's your hurt.
Yeah.
As a father, the very first time you hold your child, there is a bond that automatically makes it. And so when you're not able to see them as frequently, to be there for those milestones, even though he was 3, I missed the 5-year-old milestone. Because I wasn't allowed. Even though as much as I tried. And I tried not to be the father who would go and just down his son's mother. Some people knew the full story and I would tell them, but I wouldn't just openly be like, she's a bitch and blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't do that. I just wouldn't. I just didn't want to be that dude. But like now,
I went through that phase.
but like now, as I talked about on the first episode, I'm going through a big situation now where my son is about to graduate 8th grade to go into high school, which is a very, depending on the state and the situation. For some people, it's a big situation, it's a big deal. Others, it's like it's just 8th grade, it's just grammar school, and he's not having a graduation, he's having a ceremony. And they didn't know when the ceremony was, meaning him nor his mother. They didn't know, the school didn't have the dates, this and the third. And so when I was out there, I was out in Chicago early April for time frame reference, first week of April, because I was doing some work for C2E2. So I figured since I was out there, I had a day free. I was going down to Indianapolis to see my son.
Right.
Made sure of that. Still didn't have the date. Fast forward 2 weeks later. Oh, they have the date. My son's mother hits me up. They have the date for Jalen's ceremony. It's like, she tells me it's about April 24th, 25th.
Yeah.
When is it? May 31st. Huh? Okay, let me see what I can do.
Yeah. Because
anyone who flies knows if you got that small of a window, tickets are astronomical. Astronomical at that point. But again, I'm a father, so I'm like, how do I try to pull this off?
Yeah.
How do I go see my son on the 31st of May when my rent's due June 1st? When my phone bill's due? So now I hit the point where it's like, okay, I possibly won't be able to see him. Which ate me at my core.
Of course.
And then the hardest part became not telling his mother, telling him.
Yeah.
And I was on the phone with him. I'll never forget, it was a Saturday, and I had to literally prep myself for this. I never thought I would ever have, I said this on the last episode, I never thought I'd have to prep myself to have a conversation with a 14-year-old, my 14-year-old, about how I'm having to miss his ceremony, about him going on to high school.
Yeah.
I begged and pleaded with my son. And my son's response was, Dad, it's okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
I couldn't accept that at first.
Yeah.
I was like, what? He's like, I understand. I'm like, Jay, I really want to be there. He was like, Dad, it's just a ceremony. It is not a graduation. I understand money. I said, are you sure? And at that time, I was like, man, I don't think he really wants to say he's hurt. You know, I don't think he really wants to say it, but that was just the feeling I had. Yeah. That was the guilt for me being the father that couldn't be there.
Right.
But then as I kept talking to him, he was like, no, I seriously understand. He was like, I understand you're going to make it out here other times. I understand this, that, and the third. I'm not really tripping about it. It's just a ceremony. He was like, besides, they haven't told us what time it is yet. I said, what? You don't even know the time of the ceremony? So, you know, some people are like, well, look, you kind of lucked out. Not really, but I'd rather be there. And so I bring all that up because having a son is it's, for people don't understand this, there's a difference from having a son to having a daughter. I have both. Yeah. I love both my children equally. Nobody can tell me differently. My son is my firstborn. That is my heir to the throne.
Of course. We watch Game of Thrones. I know how this goes.
That is my heir to the throne. So I want to make sure I raise him the way he needs to be. My ex-wife got remarried. Now, that was what I was going to bring up. Has your ex-wife been remarried?
No, and I wish she would. Like, because... Yeah, I like. I'll just say this: when she was dating, I used to see my son a lot more. So, yeah, but I mean, like it's. I wish she would. Because and it's not just so I can see him more, but just because she's a good person and she deserves like love, like, and I want her to find that, and and I'm not saying if some step dude is gonna be, I call him a step dude, but if is going to be around, but it's just like, I want someone to take care. Like, I know he's good. My son is good. I'm worried about her sometimes.
Yeah.
Because, I'm like, you working too hard, and I see her, and I know it's not just me that's making her stressed out. It's other shit. And you want to just talk and just, like, check, poke your head and check and see, or poke in and just say, hey, you good? But it's just like, no. So... I don't know.
I can see. I wish people could see your face because I can see it's like confusion. Like I just don't understand everything, and that's the thing. Sometimes we have to be able to get it out. Fathers don't have as many resources, don't have as many outlets because of what we, because we're looked down upon. Yeah, it really sucks. Every year around Father's Day now, there becomes this. There doesn't need to be a Father's Day. And I think that's...
Someone said that?
Oh, dude, make sure you check Twitter and Facebook.
I try to stay.
I know. Yeah, I know. But those happen, and then it upsets me because, again, I'm a father who wants to be in my child's life. There are many fathers.
Yeah, I desperately want that.
But the fact becomes we get grouped into that whole conglomerate of men that don't because of a few who don't. Yeah. Because I personally believe the majority of fathers want their children. Granted, it becomes a surprise a lot of times, a pregnancy. Yeah. Because sometimes you hear the mothers like, I didn't think I was going to deal with this. I didn't know if I wanted to deal with it until the child comes along. And it's something besides just being the responsibility of being the parent. It's, I love what I've helped to create. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that happens a lot. And so we don't get those outlets to express how we feel. We're always bastardized by different things. And I just want, I want to keep asking questions if you don't mind. Yeah. Like how... Growing up, your son's growing up 20 minutes away from you. Aside when you have to be on duty because reserves mean a week in a month, correct?
Yeah, 1 week in a month. And then I just do random acting gigs. But the problem is, as a comedian, I work nights.
But your son's 10. Yeah. So I think that wouldn't affect, when we start doing this for a while, we get used to the nights. At first, when we start doing this, we're like, oh my God, I got to be out till 1, 2 in the morning sometimes. You don't know how to deal with it. But now you get older. When you get older in the game, you're like, okay, this is what this is sometimes. Yeah. But when it comes to a 10-year-old or just a child in general, they're not supposed to be up and out that long. So we're considered a bad parent. But you just know those days you don't have shows or whatever, you would like to be able to spend it with your child. Always. And so when you're performing, when you're traveling, when you're doing your service, how much would you rather have just that time to say, I can cut this down. I don't have to do this time. Except for the reserves, because you have to be there. I'd rather be with him. Yeah. Do you ever feel like you're being kept from it? From him, not it. Excuse me. Being kept from being with your son.
Sometimes, yeah. It depends on the year. This year's been a little bit better.
That's interesting.
Yeah, this year I've kind of got... everything more organized, and he's more open and honest about how he's feeling. There's times where I know he's just, put it this way, where Sansa was sending back letters to Winterfell with the Queen's words.
In other words, y'all, he just restarted watching Game of Thrones because that is the second reference as of right now. Before you go any further, because him being open and honest is one thing.
Yeah.
Have you been open and honest about how you feel?
I'm getting there, but it's true.
Because as men, we're known to bottle our feelings up, especially something like this.
Well, because before there'd be times I'd pick him up, and the drive back, because we usually go to this one pizza joint. We always, and they got, and they have like nice little brunch too, but we would always go there. And on the ride back, while we're driving in the car, I'm on full tilt, like, why haven't I seen you, and like, what's going on, and all this stuff. And then I'm like, well, shit, like, damn, nigga, it's only been like 15 minutes since he's been in the car. Like, give him a moment. Yeah, give him a moment. Keep it positive. And so we just sit there, we talk. I'll play some music that, something that's new or something old that I feel like he should listen, that he should appreciate.
Okay.
And we just sit there and kind of vibe to music. And I'll just play beats for him. Sometimes I make beats as well. So, like, I'll sit there and just play something I'm working on. And that just kind of eases that tension. And
funny you said what you do about why haven't I heard from you?
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact I am guilty as sin of doing that to my 14-year-old.
Yes.
Because I know I'll say, why does it I always have to call you?
Yeah.
You can call me.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a father, I just feel like you're old enough now. You know it.
Yeah.
You know you know my number.
Right.
I told you my number's always available.
Right.
You know how to reach me. And so I've done that too when I have to sit there and pull myself back like, hold on, wait a minute. We're on the phone now. Let's just let it die down and we'll talk about that later.
Right.
So go ahead. I'm sorry to
no, it's all good. And so I started making the transit and focusing more on the transit. I've always focused on the transit because my parents were the same thing. When they would drop me off to go see, dad or mom, we pull up, we're fucking partying. My mom's playing jazz music, or my dad's playing like New Jack Swing or something.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right. Like he playing
New Jack City.
He's playing like Guy and and so And so I would get out the car like, well, shit, that's my song. And I would do the same thing with him, with whatever he wanted to listen.
Right, makes sense.
I put on like Pharrell's Happy or the theme from Pokemon. I swear to God, this fool.
I wanna be.
No, like he's like, I would try to put on Tribe Called Quest or Wu-Tang to get him to like appreciate it. And he's like, no, I want to hear Pokemon theme. I'm like, all right, whatever, I tried. I fucking tried. But now I started focusing on picking him up instead of dropping him off. Picking him up because I would be on full tilt, and I'm like, no, you can't go in like that. You can't come in. I'm coming in way too high.
That makes sense.
And overloading, and now he's just like, and so. But then we sit down, we eat, and I'm like, so as we're eating, then we talk and catch up, and it's been way easier for me. It's been way easier for me. It's been way easier for him. And we just go back and forth. And we talk about, and I don't have a lot of time. So it's like, and that's that pressure. You feel like you're running against the clock. Like, I got to tell you about so much shit. Man, all right, first off, make sure you always open doors for ladies. Invest in, get a 401k. Wear a condom, like all this shit. It's just like...
At 10 years old, let me give you life advice right now.
Right now, and you can't always do that.
Yeah. And
so you have to just take it as it comes, because even now, as going, I just came from the house, so I haven't seen my dad in a few months, but I'm 34, we still catch up, and I'm like, he'll open up about some shit from my childhood, and so like when the time is right, that's what I'm trying. Like honestly, he got hit. He started losing weight. I started getting in better shape because we just want to live long to catch up on some of the shit that we missed. Right. And like honestly, I think that's what. I'm not trying to say be optimistic because that's fucking stupid. No, I'm just joking.
No, I think you should. You know what? I think you should. No, you know what? No, no need to apologize. It's because that's the way you think and feel because of situations that happen. So it's understandable. So there's no need to apologize for it. A lot of times, because we've been optimistic as fathers with situations that, hey, this will be the best scenario to play out.
Yeah.
We see the best case scenario.
That Doctor Strange.
We refuse to look at the worst.
Yeah.
We look at, for Infinity War fans, we look at 14,600,005 scenarios, but we focus on the one that works.
Yeah.
The one. And so there's nothing wrong with being optimistic about that. I have every time where I try to talk to my son's mother, for years, I couldn't even hold a regular conversation on the phone with her. And I would try to be, hey, I want to talk to you when it's pertaining to our son. She had gotten remarried. I remember her telling me, you don't want to see me happy. You don't like the fact that I'm remarried. I said, listen, may God bless your unity.
Yeah.
May he bring angels to restore harmony to your life.
Yeah.
And I mean this in sincerity.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you to think, I don't have a problem with you being separated.
Yeah.
My daughter's mother and I, we're separated now. And that one hurts me more because we were together 8 years. And I messed up heavily. And I've been trying to repay that. And I've been trying to do that so the guilt weighs on me.
Same here.
So, again, that's the hardest thing I feel. But I'll never say don't be optimistic to all that. There's nothing wrong with that. My thing is, there's situations that aren't going to play out the way we want them to.
Of course.
And also, just like we brought up with Doctor Strange and Infinity War, the one situation that is the best may not start out the best, but it has the end goal, which is the most positive, the outcome.
Well, I think, in my mind, this is the way my son loves what I do. He he helps me write jokes.
Oh man, you so lucky.
He'll just be like, Dad, I got a joke. But it's all on some knock shit.
No matter, he help you.
Well, you mad that he helped me write jokes?
Yeah, my son be like, you just dad. It's always interesting for me because I've been blessed.
Don't feel too bad because he's starting to feel that way.
Okay.
Because he's seen me bomb a few times. He's like,
No, mine. So I've been blessed with amazing opportunities from television to film to the internet, to this moment here. My son can see me on numerous commercials.
Exactly.
Can see me in numerous TV shows. That's just my daddy. And at first, it's supposed to humble me, but I was like, "Yo, ain't you happy? I'm doing." He like, nigga.
Exactly.
My son, he won't say that directly with his face. And as a dad, it's like, I'm doing this for you at the end of the day. But it's like, I appreciate you still having become overwhelmed by what I do. You still like, that's my father.
Right.
One of the biggest things I had with my son growing up was him always telling me I was his best friend.
Yeah, same.
And it was beautiful to me. Best feeling ever.
That shit was my password for a minute. Best friend.
Oh man,
I changed my password as we record this.
Dude, it used to touch me when he would say that. I would actually have a tear, and then I had to click on one day. You got to remind him who you are to him. I'm your best friend, but first and foremost, I'm your father.
Right. Because
when you start having that best friend, that's when they told that line of, you should let me be able to get away with these things because that's what friends do. That's what friends do. Friends won't tell on each other. Friends don't get mad. So I had to go through that. But I tell everybody, my son is just like me. Is yours like you?
He's like me. He's like me in a way. He's very goofy. He's very personable. As soon as he walks in the room, he's gonna be like, "Hi, my name's Dante. What's your name? What do you do?" Like I've seen my son work a room, and it's magical actually. Like he's got great people skills.
Good.
I'm very proud of that. But he's a thinker, and he loves to observe. But he's and you see me over the past few weeks or past few days of this festival. Like I like having everybody included. It's like, hey, let's all do this. I mean, my son. I remember at Thanksgiving with an ex-girlfriend of mine. The whole family got together, and he says, "All right, everybody." They never, not the whole family hadn't really met this kid before. I'm just the boyfriend, and this is my son. And he's like, "All right, everybody, listen up." He's probably like 6. And he's like, listen up. All right, who wants cake? Because I need to know. We should have enough for everybody. This is Thanksgiving. Like he's that kind of. He's either going to be a great. he's like that fun supervisor.
Yeah.
Like he's just like
Yeah.
or like a cult leader. I don't know. Like always I'm joking obviously, but it's like he's just fun to be around.
Do you have days where you just break down and cry because you're not with him?
Of course. I mean,
I wanted to catch you with that.
And I had to that's fine. I'm open in admitting that because there's times where I just come home and I'm like, fuck, I wish he was here to see that. One of the things that broke me. And you ever watch a movie and like some shit will happen?
Oh, the father son stuff, and you'd be like,
and then you're like, what? Wait, whoa! What happened? What happened? Why am I dealing with this right now?
Yeah.
Like I'm watching.
I'm like
Creed.
Nope, I don't want to talk about that part.
Yeah.
I know, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, where he's looking at YouTube clips of his father. And my son would do that because of the commercials and you know, like all this stuff that I've done. And he was just sitting there looking, and he was like, "Dad, I saw you on YouTube," and he watched my set, and I'm like, oh my god, that freaked out. You know, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where they playing catch. Yeah, and I'm like, that shit broke me in half. I was like, well, I'm not here for this. But I'm glad that I as a father I could still
feel those moments
because it lets me know, like we're all comics, so part of us we're a little, and you those maybe listening can even tell, like at times you feel a little apathetic, but and you feel sometimes dead inside, but those moments remind you, like, dude, it's okay to feel that way, but you got to press on. Because one thing I've learned, this comes from military fathers too. I've had talks with first sergeants who are like your favorite uncle in the squadron, you know, and I'll never forget one sergeant in particular. When I was stationed down in Mississippi, he told me, he says, first off, I seen your shit, you're funny, you know, because I was doing like some shit around base, and he's like, I've seen your shit, you're funny. Keep at it. He's like, but as a father, and I've said this to a lot of military fathers, because we go on a different basis sometimes. You know, like it actually was the best thing that ever happened to me since when I got out of active duty, because you know, me going to the Guard, now I belong to the state of Utah,
right,
where my son stood. If I stayed active duty, I could have got another assignment. Next thing you know, I'm in Korea. Now I'm really far away from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I put in my opinion, I did the best thing I could do for the situation. I said, and that first sergeant, he told me, he said, he's like, I'm now 45. You know, my son is 20, or just turned 21. Now, first thing we did, he sat down and we went out for a drink and just had a beer and talked about a lot more shit. Cause he was, you know, just sit down. I'm not saying, I don't know if my son will drink, but but it's just like one of those, like, go get dad a beer, go get yourself one. We're gonna have this talk, and so like honestly, I'm holding on to that. You know, that I can, that when it's the right age. Not to say it's drinking, but I mean, like, but just when you'll know when that right age is, like, hey, let's catch you up on some things you may have missed.
Were you able to have those with your father?
Yeah, and they're still happening. That's the best part, is that still, I'm grateful that it's still happening. My quote unquote brother, Brandon, we grew up in the same daycare. We're 26 days apart. We've known each other since we were 6 months old.
Wow.
Or we're not blood brothers at all, but we've known.
No, understandable.
Yeah, we just known, like, literally
our whole lives.
Yeah, our whole lives. I still talk to him. He grew up without his father, and then he came back in his life when he was like 29, and then he shortly passed afterwards. And my man's got 3 kids now. Like and so I'm grateful for those chats that I have with my father now, because Brandon doesn't necessarily get to have them, but he does have them with my father, because my father has kind of like took him in as his own. Yeah. I mean, my brother Brandon pledged the same fraternity as my father, which is, to me, I'm not a part of a fraternity. The fraternity I belong to is the United States Air Force. But I never, through college, I never had the opportunity to pledge for that specific fraternity. And it's so cool when I saw that he went frat and went to dad's frat. I was jealous for 2 seconds, and I said, "Shut up! You let him have that." And it's not to say you know, I'm doing him a favor. No, but he wanted to do that because he looks up to my father so much, and that means the fucking world to me.
I've said from jump, this is candid and openness, and hearing that has brought a tear to my eye. Well, several.
I see it now. I see it in the window.
Reason being, my dad passed when I was 4.5, going on 5, and so right before my younger brother was born as well, I never, ever had any chance of that.
Yeah.
I never had be able to sit down with my dad. My grandfather tried to raise me that way, but by the time I got older, my grandfather was older, and you know his health issues started taking place. And then there was still my uncle, who was his son, who would intervene and just like, "Oh, this is my time with my dad."
Yeah.
And I never had that, so that makes one of the things, like, for me being a father, I think that makes it even harder for me, because it's like, I never had that time with my dad. I want to give that time to my son. I'm not able to give that time to my son, let alone my daughter.
Yeah.
And that is why I'm always so, like, insistent on making something happen so I can keep them together. With not even keep them together, keep them with me. Right. More so anything. Yeah, those are precious moments to be able to have that. And again, that's what instills fathers going forward. Now, sometimes you do have those, like you said with your brother. He didn't have that father, but he had the father figure. Yeah. You have some who don't have the fathers in their lives who, make a vow to themselves to be better than the father they didn't know.
Exactly, and that's why my brother Brandon's a fucking better father than I'll ever be. And because I watch him with his kids, and it's like, oh my God, like just watching it when I see him with my nephews and nieces, I light up like a Christmas tree, because I'm like, and he honestly is what keeps me going, because I know, like, I don't want my son to have to go through what Brandon went through, and it's so difficult. This is like, but parenthood, not just fatherhood, but
parenthood in general.
Parenthood in general is constantly evolving. What you think worked yesterday ain't gonna do shit
today.
Because they're getting smarter, and my son, I legit think this kid is gonna study like game theory or some. I have a video of my son explaining a pyramid scheme. Yeah. And I'm
sorry, ladies and gentlemen, you couldn't see my face, but when he said that, I was stunned and shocked, because, wow.
Yeah, no, he's very intelligent. And I'm not just saying that because, it's my son. No, I'm like, the way that he just knows the pyramid scheme and how it works. And I'm like, why do you know this?
Right, that's the first thing, not how, why?
Yeah.
What lesson were you taking in school that you need to know this?
I come to him for life advice. Real shit. When
talk about that.
When we met, we met was like, I was supposed to move back home to California. Okay. I didn't do it until I got my son's blessing. I had already been on the table, but once he said, we had lunch, I picked him up, we had lunch, a meeting at this point,
since he don't you had to get into his schedule, fit into his itinerary.
We had an appointment, and so he broke it down. He says, he said this to me, I think it would be a good investment if you went to California and pursue stick with what you're doing. It's a good investment. Yes.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sitting there with my jaw dropped.
That's not a joke. That's for real. He really said that.
And how did you take that at the moment?
I was just like, wow. Like, one, thank you for believing me. Two, whose supervisor are you going to be? Who you're going to be district, regional mayor, or whatever.
Yeah.
CEO. I mean, and I can't. I wish that was a joke, but it's like, that's just him.
That's just him.
And so I think I credit that to his mother.
Okay.
His mother, she works in accounting and finance, so she's very schedule oriented, and logic in, logic out, garbage in, garbage out. She's very ones and zeros. I work cybersecurity for the military, but I'm also a comic, and so. We both know, if you're listening to this and you're an artist of some sort, you have to just imagine and create and grind it out. And so he genuinely, I love that he has that schedule, that planning, and that foresight from his mother. But he also dreams big because he sees that I'm the steps that I'm taking.
Yeah.
So I feel there's times where I'm like, I see the best of him because of his mother, and it makes me appreciate that I'm like, thank goodness he does have her, because I get mad at her sometimes, but I'm like,
it's for me it's the same. My son's mother, she went and pursued a career within the medical field, and I think she's a CNA or trying to be an RN. I know she's doing something medical, but I saw her consistently going to school after we divorced. She had talked about it a while, and she started doing it, and then she has her other son, which is she has her other son by her ex-husband, and it was so interesting to watch her, because now I watch my son pick up on those mannerisms as well. I'll talk to him, and he's known for sometimes talking short real quick if he wants to. Now, he can be long, but now he's short. And I said, you sound just like your mama.
Yes.
And he like, no, I don't. I'm like, you're your mother's son.
Yeah.
Because everything, that is her.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is the parts that remind me sometimes of my marriage, where I'm like, wow, you are both of us.
Yeah.
You know, even with my daughter looks just like her mother. And some people be like, your daughter looks like you. And I'll be like, please don't say that. Because I don't want my daughter to look like me. I don't want to end up like Venus Williams. Like,
bro,
I'm sorry.
Give yourself some credit, bro.
I mean, I just don't want my daughter. I mean, I want my daughter. My daughter's beautiful.
Yeah.
But she's beautiful regardless. But it's, you know, you see that in them, and you see you in them, and you see the other half of them. You see the mother in them, and those things always stand out.
Yes.
And so it makes you proud in multiple ways. It makes you proud for what you instill in them. It makes you proud for what they've instilled in them. You know, you love that. Now, which brings me to one of my final things I want to ask you. Going forward, your careers, you're doing well as a stand-up. Your military career is going as long as you pretty much want to, being reservist, if I'm not mistaken, or you may have a contract. I'm not exactly sure. What are the goals for you as a father? Is your son the one and only? Do you want to have more? Is the goal to eventually find a way to work with his mother to bring your son to being with you, to raise him a la Trey Boys in the Hood?
Wait, sorry. What's like?
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the goals for you the goals as far as with your career and life involving your son? As far as you want to just have him be able to still, the visit more, of course, but to have him see what you do, expand that. But do you just want him there with you entire way?
Of course, I want him there all the time. I mean, but I know that's not possible at this moment. But it's little things that he says totally 100% give me hope. Okay. Because he was like, I'm thinking about starting my own YouTube channel, because he likes that I do.
My God! Yeah. You literally, my son. Yeah. I'm sorry to cut you off. My son literally did it, and he was like, "I started my own channel." Yeah. And I said, "What?" I said, "Well, listen," because he knew what I was doing on YouTube. Yeah. I was like, "Yo, I will promote and push you. I just want to make sure you put out good stuff." Yeah. He said, "For real?" Yeah. I said, "Yeah." Go ahead.
Exactly. So I'm trying to convert his room. I still have a room for him at my apartment, no matter what. I may not get him. I will. To me, it's a sound investment because he always knows he has his room. Absolutely. I don't care if it's been 4 months since he's been in there, but it's his room. And so, but I said, what do you think about me converting, parts of your room to so you can do your little YouTube thing? And he's like, yeah, let's do that. So I got this little corner that I'm kind of building with all these geek posters because he wants to do geek stuff, nice. talk Minecraft. I mean, you know how the kids, they watch the fucking Minecraft. I don't know how kids watch
somebody else playing.
What the?
Don't. Bruh, listen. I never that. Out of all the things on YouTube, working on it, being a part of different things, I never to this day, because my son is one of those, I called him and I said, what are you doing? I'm just watching people play games on YouTube. I said, explain this to me. What enjoyment do you get out of watching someone else play the game? Yeah. I mean, I guess it's because we're older, but again, it just, even if I was still younger, it wouldn't make no sense to me.
I mean, the only time I can get it is when I played Wolfenstein New Colossus. I got stuck on a part, and I just was like, all right, I got to watch.
Because you said, okay, that's a different story. To see how somebody completed it so you can know how to do it. That is one thing. Yeah. To just sit up and say, I'm just going to watch them play.
Yeah. And they watch it like it's a sitcom. they watch it like, I don't know. It's just,
but yeah, go ahead.
But like my goals are really just for him to just to dream big and to see that like he makes me hustle harder because not just to provide food on the table and support, you know, and you know, obviously take care of child support and everything, but it's just really just like I just want him to know that he can do whatever he wants, you know, whatever, as long as he puts his mind to it. And I'm not to sound like the after school special, but it's just like, yeah, I want him to know like there's life outside of Utah, because Utah is a sheltered bubble. It is it's just that's just what it is. It's a sheltered bubble, and I just want him to travel out more.
Yeah.
So I like hitting the road, bringing stuff back from the road, you know, like, and I just want him to know that's really all. That's really my goals for him, is to just keep dreaming big, and actually doing it.
I want you to take a quick second. Picture your son hears this in the future. Maybe 5 years from now, 10 years from now. What's your message for him today to apply to the time later that he's hearing? You know how dads always give us advice now to apply later.
I mean, because he'd be 15. He'd be 15 or 20, and definitely I would say please talk to me, because I have so much advice for whatever you're about to experience as a teenager, as a young man. My son is biracial. I know that he's struggling with this identity, being half black, half white. Where does he fit? You don't have to be black. You don't have to be white. You just be you, and just focus on that. Know who yourself is first. And he's starting to get really comfortable in his own skin. But I want him to continue that, because I know that's going to be something that he struggles with that I've never had to deal with. I've just been 100% black all my life. So don't let that play. Don't let that trick you to figure out that you need to be something. Just be you. That would probably be one of the biggest things I tell him. And because I'm still like I'm telling him that now, but he's kind of too young. He's so sheltered in a way that that's too much to drop on him. But he's starting to learn. He's starting to see it. Because I've told his mother, I'm like, this boy needs to know, yes, he is biracial, but one day he's going to be told he's black. He needs to, you know, I need him to know who he is before somebody tells him.
Like, it makes sense.
Before a police officer or a white woman calling the cops on him at a barbecue tells him that. And then he's like, wait, what is happening?
Right.
You know, because he's sheltered. And so he's starting to figure it out. But at the same time, I feel bad about that, because I feel like this younger generation is so fucking smart, they're going to just figure it out. Yeah. Like, they really are. I mean, people can blame millennials on a lot of shit, but they're pretty dope, in my personal opinion. Like, I don't have too much of a problem with that damn backpack man dance or whatever. That shit ain't going away for a while. But I think so. I try not to. I want to kind of. I'm not trying to get the whole Vin Diesel outlook where it's like one race, one culture outlook. But at the same time, it kind of is. I just want because we are so confined to the whole black versus white narrative, and I'm not saying that needs to die. But it doesn't need to be forgotten.
Makes sense.
And so I try not to get too preachy with them, and trying to find balance. And that's hard. I could be screwing them up. I could be making things better. I don't know. There's times where I just shrug my shoulders, but that's my advice to him. I'm sorry, I kind of got off track, but
oh no, it's no problem.
My advice to him is just be who you are. Be who you are first, you know, and because you don't want somebody to tell you who you are, and then you not know.
Man, that's a good one. I appreciate
Does that make sense?
It does. It does when you sit back and think about it.
Like,
hey, man, I definitely appreciate you coming on here, man, talking with me, being open and candid, man, allowing yourself to express feelings and vent, in a sense.
Yeah.
And making me cry for almost a half a second.
Yeah,
but I appreciate it, man.
Tear, man.
That one thug. Thank you. I want to get to this whole discussion about how one of my boys was like, "Ain't no such thing as thug tears."
No,
I was that shit's real.
It's just real.
It's just real. Before I let you get up out of here, man, tell the people how they can find you, how they can reach you, get in touch with you.
Yeah, hit me up. I'm not. Hey, my website sucks right now, but it's.
You sound like me. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's hopefully by the time it's.
No, this will be up tomorrow.
Oh, well, you ain't gonna hear it. Eventually, come back in 3 months, and it's at itsjaywhittaker.com. But my Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, at itsjaywhittaker. Same with Facebook, Jay Whittaker, WHITTAKER. So, 2 T's, and that's about it. I do a Geek Show podcast. You can check that out after you listen to Trusty Sidekick and this podcast that you listen to.
I'm so happy look. I just want y'all to know I didn't tell him to plug my shit.
I'm plugging the shit. And then I do my own little short podcast called The Incredibly Vocal Minority, and it's basically like an extension of Geek Show, just a blacker version of it, a blacker, woker version of it. And so that's roughly it, man.
Man, I appreciate it so much, brother. As always, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington, MrJaywashington. Like he said, check out the Trusty Sidekick podcast. Myself and Bobby Hill, we get you caught up on everything in the Marvel and DC TV show and live action cinematic universes. My website is not updated. I just need to put dates on there eventually. So, like I said, Twitter and Facebook, Instagram and Facebook, whatever, be the best ways to find me.
Who the fuck goes to a .com anymore?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I just told you still got to have it, and I'll be like, man, I'm trying to update everything else. But then I got this.
Ain't nobody checking for earthlink.net anymore.
Man,
no disrespect to Earthlink.
Geosites, baby. Hey, man. But I definitely want to thank Jay Whittaker for stopping by, man. Again, this has been A Dad Apart, a podcast where fathers get a chance to express their feelings to those who are not directly with their children. I will holler at you guys next week. Take care. God bless.